Designs, and today we will be discussing friendships and how they changed after marriage.
You know, to be totally honest, I am not sure if my friendships have changed or not since being married. Because everything happened at the same time for us. I mean, we basically started dating, had a baby, got married, moved, all within 1 year, which is a lot. It was all kind of at the same time. So I'm not sure if exactly my friendships changed because I had a baby or because I actually got married. I do know that it was definitely a very hard transition for us because all of my friends were single and not even really in serious relationships. Just, I mean, going out and having fun. And all of a sudden, I was kind of a drag because I could go out, but it's just awkward to have a big old pregnant lady at a bar and be sitting there drinking water. And to be totally honest, I was exhausted. I didn't want to be there anyway. So yeah, I mean, those things changed a little bit. Plus, it was right after graduating college, so everyone is kind of, dispersing out a little bit. You don't have that tight-knit, let's walk to class together, that kind of thing anymore. So, I mean, we were all kind of growing up.
When I was in the stages of planning my wedding, half of my friends were married and half of them weren't. Everyone was in a long-term relationship, but just some hadn't quite made the step into marriage, and now they have. At the time when we were going through the wedding, all of my married friends, the relationships didn't change too much, but I kind of felt like afterwards I was a part of the club. That I had my husband now, and I had 2 rings on my finger instead of just 1 or none. And it was really easy to kind of transition because I felt like they had already been there, and I was able to go to them if I had any questions. But for the most part, I mean, we all had been friends for so long that it was just kind of like, oh, finally now you're part of our group. And then there was one other group of friends that I met while I was wedding planning on theknot.com. There's a core group of 10 of us that have remained friends since our wedding. And since then, it's kind of interesting because we've all gone through, the newlywed phase together, celebrating our first anniversaries and what you do for that together. Some of us have bought homes in that time frame. And now 2.5 years later, there's babies that are involved, and it's kind of cool to go through a group that was in the exact same place as I was and had the exact same kind of questions or concerns or, trying to figure out the new role as a wife. And going through that together, that camaraderie, it's kind of like we've all been each other's support systems. And yes, we have our other friends that had been there before us and whatnot, but it was kind of cool to have this group that's been there from the beginning of the wedding stage and home buying and babies and, kind of seeing where it leads us to. But with everything, I think that it's just helped to build our friendships together. There's always the time where you just need to hang out with the girls, and everyone fortunately knows what it's like, to be married, and sometimes you gotta blow off steam or vet, but there's no judging or, it's not like you feel like if you say something to complain about, a fight you had, that it means that, you and your husband are doomed for something or, because everyone's been there. And before, I think when you were just dating people, you didn't necessarily get it because, now you're inseparable. You're not really, I'm not going anywhere, my husband's not going anywhere.
I think that there is a natural progression of life and of friendships where you don't really have the same friends in high school that you did in middle school and in college that you did in high school. It's just sort of like, I don't know, the evolution of life and of friendships. But I will say that in my adult life, the friendships that I've made and some friendships from my childhood, I kind of was under the impression that we would be friends forever. And I don't know if that sounds very second grade, but that's really how I felt. I think there's an element of, okay, so they just got married, so give them some time to be on their own. And it's kind of, I think, out of respect that people do that. But I think sometimes my friends who either were single or who were in serious relationships but not married, they sort of did that a little bit to an extreme where they were like, okay, give Sabrina her space and her privacy, but they kind of, picked me up and put me in this category and I think it sort of severed that connection that we had before, where it wasn't just like, okay, she's married, give her time. It was like, okay, well, now she's married, and that shouldn't be like I don't know, it shouldn't end with a period. You know what I mean? It should be like, now she's married, comma, but we'll still hang out. I don't know if that's kind of the way that I think about it, and when my friends got married, I didn't think like, I'm never going to talk to them again, I'm never going to hang out with them again. I just thought, you know, there's going to be a time where they need to get settled into their life. They're moving, they have a honeymoon, they have, you know, things they have to kind of get settled into in their life, and then we're going to sort of, you know, pick right up where we left off.
So I want to thank Lexi and Sabrina for chiming in on how they feel about their friendships and how it's changed since they've been married. And we'd like to hear from you. So please leave a comment letting us know what your experience has been, positive or negative or otherwise. And we'd love to hear. So keep the chat going. Thanks.